Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Josh Johnson!
So I saw this video for this robot butler. There's a robot butler that you can buy and bring into your home if you've never watched a sci-fi film. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you just avoided all of them, if it's just not your genre, but you're like, ooh, a whole robot. Yeah, let's get him in here. Give him access to all the knives. No, you can. You can do it now. You can order one. It's thousands of dollars. It's very expensive. You could get a robot in your home, do a bunch of like small tasks, chores, things you don't feel like doing. And it's just, you know, it's a whole robot with like legs, arms, hands. They did everything. I don't know if they did toes. but it walks, and it just, the thing that freaks me out about this thing is that in the development along the way, I'm not saying every single company that develops every robot does the same thing, but you've seen the videos. Some of these videos have gone viral because every time they get closer to building a robot that has like perfect balance is either stronger or more adept at a task, every time they do something like that, it goes viral. We see it. They cover it on like the morning news and stuff. And I just know that to get robots to this point where this robot is at now, that they don't just fall over, it took a long time. You used to see these robots where they, you know, tip. That's not fast enough. You're not going to get your stuff in a timely manner. You need them taking whole steps, and they take whole steps, but they didn't have good foot placement, so then they tip into the middle, they'd fall. And so then we started making ones where the whole purpose is that they can't fall, and the way we tested if they could fall or not was we did kick them. We did almost exclusively kick them. And not little taps either, not like a little hook. Here's a little trick for it. You would see people in the video walk up to the robot like, wow! And the only reason you didn't feel worse for the robot is it didn't have a face. This thing... It looked very sad, and there was one... Okay, look, maybe I'm in my head about this. I swear when I was watching... Okay, because you know that dog they made? They made like a dog first that couldn't fall. And I was like, so you just go kick a dog. I know it's a robot dog, but like still, you kick this dog and the dog got better and better at not falling, better and better at catching itself and everything, to the point where it got to where it would not fall. It couldn't fall, right? But beyond not being able to fall, they still, you know, they got to run tests, and the tests were as sophisticated as bow, right? But there was this one time this dude ran up, kicked the robot dog, and the robot dog stumbled. And it's a millisecond. It's so short that I had to watch this video 3,000 times to make sure I actually saw what I saw. But like, and then for a split second, you saw it think about going like, but it didn't do it. It didn't do it. And I was like, yeah, but you've been kicking it for a year and a half. You kicked its brother, you kicked its stepdad, like you kicked... And so now you take all that kicking history and you go ahead and put that into a robot in the home that can regular walk. I don't know how tall they are, but you get a robot in your home that's taller than you a fool, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you gotta look up at your robot, you out your mind. If you yelling at your robot, I know you out of your mind if you over here, hey! That's insane. Because we also not polite. We've been taught to not be polite to the robot. That's been baked in now. I don't even know if you could, it would feel weird for you to be polite if you were polite. You know millions and millions of people every day say, "Hey Alexa," and you know what they don't say? Please. You want to know how I know that? First Alexa experience I had, I didn't like it. Because it was in the house, but I didn't know where it was. So I was like, all right, so you just inviting the ghosts in then. You way too comfortable with ghosts. Because sooner or later, because you don't know if your house haunted. So now you over here talking to Alexa all the time. Then one day, Alexa voice a little raspy. You don't even clock it. Now you in a whole murder house with a bad history and you don't even, you think, oh, it's malfunctioning. And you got a whole poltergeist going on and you over here calling Amazon. And so then, I go over to my friend's house and my friend's like, oh, hey, we got this new thing. If you want to play some music, just say, hey, Alexa, play whatever. And I was like, hey, I just didn't want to do it. And he was like, no, go ahead, give it a try. I was like, all right. Hey, Alexa, play Kendrick, please. And he was like, why did you say please like that? I was like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, this is weird. This doesn't feel weird to you? And he's like, no, it's not weird. It's the future. I was like, all right, the future's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's good practice for our interactions person to person. That every day you make demands of something without any courtesy, without any politeness, and then we wonder why people are like rude. You know what I mean? It's like more and more you're like, you get to the point where you're dealing with so much, whatever it is, you're dealing with so much AI, you're dealing with so many robots, and you start treating people like AI, like robots, like people who just sort of serve a function. It's like I remember, I was ordering some food, and they do this thing now just to make sure that you got your food when you do I think everybody does. I think Uber Eats, Grubhub, I think everybody does it now, where when they want it at the door. When someone says, I want it handed to me at the door, they have to take a picture, right? So then they take the picture, and it's usually just of the receipt of the bag, right? But then, he's like, can I take a picture? I didn't know about this new policy. I didn't know. And I'm not I want y'all to know, I don't think I'm world famous or something, but he asked me if he wanted to can I take a picture? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And so then I got next to him. And I felt so bad for him because he truly didn't know what to do, because he was I guess he didn't want to correct me. I guess he didn't want to be like, no, please stand away from me. I'm just going to take a picture of you. Because it also does sound a little weird to be like, hey, I'm going to take a picture of you, be still. That is a little uncomfortable. But then I had already walked out the door and I'm side to side with him waiting for him to lift the phone. And then this sweet man, just to spare my feelings, turned it on selfie mode. It goes, can you lift the bag up for the picture? So I felt yeah. But that is what's happening, is that we're getting to this place where most of our interactions are so transactional, down to the point of just what the service is, that it doesn't feel like we're having a relationship with a person, even a person who's doing you a service. So then, of course, maybe in people's minds, the next step would be for a robot to be there. Do you know what I mean? They're doing it with Uber already. Uber switching to these driverless cars, these like Waymos, and it's like, to a certain degree, why wouldn't you? Because people get in their Uber and they don't want to talk to the driver. Maybe the driver doesn't want to talk to them either, and it's just okay. It's almost a similar experience. You know? It's just the butler thing is so much more off-putting because it is okay. It's too, I don't know, like why'd they have to give it a regular body? That's uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't even have like if it had looked like a Power Ranger, then maybe, because like that's still a little too much like regular body, but just it having a regular body is just it is uncomfortable. And it comes in 3 colors. Comes in 3 colors. It comes in like tan, silver, and black. And like a deep black, like an onyx. It comes very black. That's not uncomfortable for anybody? That you can now buy a black? That feels awkward. Imagine you buy one of these Neo things, you buy one of these robots. And let's say it's doing all the tasks. Let's say it's really good. And then you invite one of your black friends over. And it's over here setting the table, not speaking. What are we doing? You could have picked silver. You could have had silver. Silver was an option the entire time. And you were like, no, but I would like black. I would actually enjoy it more. Didn't make white. Didn't even make like a fuchsia. And I'm sure you can trace the thinking down to like how people even like their phones. Like people, like that's like a thing with iPhone, like tan, silver, black, right? But this is different. This feels very different. This feel like when you see it, especially, especially you over here giving orders, not saying please, just. It's a bad look. And they do all this testing. You know what I mean? They do all this. I love product promotion for tech because then the people who made the tech usually want to do the product promotion. That's like a big thing that comes from, fair enough, the world of tech, but mainly like Steve Jobs. Like Steve Jobs is who we look back and we see, wow, the iPhone revolutionized social. Like social wasn't even really a thing and couldn't really become a thing without the way we use our phone. Like there were just these moments when he held up like an iPod, when he held up an iPhone, that you look back at as like, wow, these are like pivotal moments. And because these people are trying to be like him, even if they're not trying to be exactly like him, they also want those pivotal moments for their career. They want to look back and be enough of a trendsetter and be enough of like a social beacon in tech, in communication, that you can look back at their clip and they held something up or they stood next to something and then it changed the world. Like, I understand why that's enticing, but at the same time, you're not great talking to people. That's almost across the board. We've seen, you remember when Zuckerberg was all in on the metaverse, when he was pouring billions of dollars. The metaverse was going to be the future. The metaverse was going to be how we worked, how we played. It was going to be how we visited people and communicated. There was a vision for the metaverse. He spent billions and billions of dollars pouring it into the metaverse, even though it wasn't profitable, even though people weren't integrating it into their lives fast enough for what they were projecting as like people who had people to answer to, you know, shareholders to answer to and stuff like that. Like, he still went all in, and then he did that product rollout. Showing, and look. He tried. Mark Zuckerberg, if you're not aware, does do an imitation of like a person you would talk to. Like it's almost good. He does as good of an imitation of like a regular person as he can, and then he tried to do that for the rollout. So the day came. He was going to showcase the metaverse, the way of the future, right? And he comes out and he does his best imitation of like a guy. You saw it. You can go back and watch it. It's like, hey everyone. It's nice to be here today with you. I want to introduce you to the metaverse, and what better way than meeting the version of you that would be in the metaverse? Come on out, Mark. And then the metaverse like avatar of Mark Zuckerberg walks up and does a way better imitation of a guy. Because he's like, come on out, Mark. And then a Zuckerberg dressed exactly like him does walk up and go, how's it going? It's like, why don't you say hello to everyone? And you saw Meta Mark be like, what are you doing? You're making us look bad right now. Because these things are supposed to be the future, and you look at how we've been working our way up to this point. Because we're not talking about like a Roomba. You know, a Roomba. That felt like what future robots should be. Do you know what I mean? Just like doing the function. It's small. It gets into the little space. Every once in a while, it like runs into the wall hard enough that you gotta just redirect it. Do you know what I mean? Like you feel like, okay, if your Roomba ever really like tried to square up. Do you know what I mean? Like if your Roomba was ever really feeling froggy one day and got some attitude with you, you could be like, okay, all right. Problem solved. I don't know why you built this full-on robot butler with knuckles. Full of knuckles. Knuckles and like, okay. It's not like, I saw the back of the robot. And it's not, you remember action figures when you were a kid? And how they were just sort of flat and the leg could just like perfectly go up and then down and then like perfectly up and then down. I don't know what the function is because once again, I'm not an engineer. I don't work in tech. I don't act like I'm smarter than any of these people. All right? All these people came together, made this robot. Look, you can make a robot. I can't make a robot. But turned around, this robot is like, it's not at a BBL level, but like this robot is like fully caked up. It has cheeks. It has cheeks that are like visible, but like that's just the robot. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it has cheeks and it's like wearing clothes. Like it's just the robot, which means y'all made the cheeks. Somebody made cheeks. That doesn't feel wild to anybody else that somebody made cheeks specifically. And then when they build a product like this, when you have a robot, when it's time to you building a robot, right? Everybody's got to have something to do. Because you want to do everything, right? You want to walk, and you want to not fall over or bump into walls. Okay, get the kicking guy. Kicking guy is going to make sure that your robot doesn't just fall over. He's going to kick it 10,000 times. Really make a friend. And then you're going to need somebody on head duty to make sure it is going forward, not drooping, whatever. You got to get somebody on neck, make sure it turns around and stuff. It just makes me wonder if this robot make me wonder if there was just somebody that they didn't trust with the math. They didn't trust with the math, so that they were like, hey, we'll let you design whatever part you want. And he got all excited, and he came in on Monday. And he's like, I got perfect right here. And I guess nobody wanted to hurt his feelings. Over there in the boardroom talking about, I guess it's padding technically if it ever does fall, like in a disaster. And so then they set this prototype out with like a real butt. The rest of it does not look real at all, by the way. This is crazy. It's crazy because then they have the person, whenever they do any product rollout, they do like a Q&A, or they do a test in front of an audience, or if it's like a pre-tape thing, they'll have somebody there asking questions that obviously the public would ask. And and so this person's asking questions like, how strong is it? And it's like, oh, it's very strong. It has all of this like power per square inch, however they measure it, right? And they gave it like, I don't know, it was a chestnut or a walnut or something like that, but they were like, can you go ahead and break this? Because, once again, if you ever watch a sci-fi movie, that should be dust immediately. That should be, the robot should be able to be like, And so they, went ahead and gave the robot this nut to break, and the robot was like, and I didn't see it break it. I was like, all right, that actually puts me at a little bit of ease. Like, genuinely it does. It's like, okay, I thought for it to have fingers, it has palms, it has fingers, knuckles. It's nice to know that if the robot tried to punch you, it's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of nice to know this robot can only kill you if you already dying. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could squeeze a pillow just enough. Because to a certain degree, this is supposed to be the future, right? The future is supposed to be as convenient as possible. Absolute convenience, so you get your time back. And so your life won't be as hard. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm going to stay on this thing probably for years, because products like this keep coming out. This is my thing. If you've ever met somebody who's had a very easy life, very convenient life, that has never really been through anything, has never had like an obstacle in their way, they almost always, without a doubt, suck. Like really bad. Like these are the worst people in the world. Like when you meet them, you're like, that's terrible. That's terrible. And you find out because you're always there when the first thing that has ever happened to them happens to them. The first time anything has ever happened to them, it happens in front of you. And then you're like, all right, well, let's figure it out because you've been through things. This doesn't even register for you. This is like a 5 for them on the Richter scale of an earthquake, and their life is over. You know what I mean? They got a flat tire. And life is over. They're not in the city right now, and they have a flat tire. What should they do? I guess they have to die here. See, they'd never really been through anything. And anything that almost happened to them, they got to ask their parents to take care of it, and their parents took care of it. Or they just played dumb until somebody else did something about it. And now, in this moment, what a terrible career-ending day. You got a flat tire. What are you going to do? What's the plan here? And they panic. They want to call their parents to do something about it, but their parents are... Yeah, I mean, their parents are... Like, you know... They want to call their parents, but they can't because their parents are vacationing in Greece. And so it's like... They might not even have service on the boat. Like, it's just... What am I going to do? Never been through anything in their entire life. What am I going to do? They look to you. And they're like, this has never happened before. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. We're on our way to vacation and catch a flat tire. What are we going to do? And you're like, oh, do you have a spare? And you hear them say, is that what that is back there? I knew it came with the car, but I expected it to just turn on one day or something. It's just been back there not being a wheel this entire time. You know, and if they didn't have you there, I don't know what they would do. And so we want these lives of convenience. We want these lives where everything is out of our way, where nothing that we don't want to do takes up any time. But then what kind of person does that make you? I'm not saying it's fun to do all your chores or wait in line, but it is a human experience. This is your life, you know? Sometimes there are things that genuinely suck. I've been at the airport before for 36 hours. There was one time I was at the airport and I couldn't get out, and then here's the thing, if I had decided to live there, I could have left. But I have been kept on such a Ferris wheel of mistakes, canceled flights, delayed flights, and just general annoying small tragedies that I just ended up staying in the airport. I almost slept at that airport twice, right? But at the same time, I had a lot of good experiences, even in that time, even when I was waiting. Turns out that airport did have pretty good food, so I ate very well for the few meals I could muster. Already a bathroom there. I can get adventurous. I'm just saying, sometimes people at airports will sell you like tiny spicy chicken or something like that, and you're like, all right, I'll just have it, not realize it, like, it is spicy, and there is a bathroom on the plane, but like, traveling spicy hit different, you know what I mean? Like, If you traveling spicy, it's doing something to your life you're not ready for. There's nothing like being in a car and you traveling spicy. And now you looking at exits. Every exit, you're like... No, you know when you traveling spicy, you gotta breathe it out. No, traveling spicy is very dangerous. And I was able to do it. But that's the thing, is it, you know, when things are happening that are inconvenient or even terrible, and they're happening, they're part of your life. You can either just hate your life, or you could be like, this is my life for a little while. You know? Anyone who always wants, this is gonna sound harsh, but just hear me out. Because I have friends who every single inconvenience, they just want to be over already. And I'm like, okay, but if you tried to speed run every single thing that ever happened that was not convenient, do you know how little life you would have? Your life would be over so quickly. Your life would be over if you were like, oh, I just want to get out of this conversation. I just want to get out of this. I just want to get out of this line. I just want to get out of this airport. I just want to see. And you're missing your entire life. You know? Oh, I just want to get out of this conversation. What if they about to say something dope? You know what I mean? What if they're about to say something very cool? What if they're about to say, wow, you're such a good listener. Almost nobody listens to my stories. You want to chill at my vacation house? What if that was just about to happen? And now you can cut the thing short just because they were going on and on about whales. This is your life, you know? All of it is precious, even the inconvenient parts. Because that's the thing, that's all they can really sell you. They can sell you a little less inconvenience. They can't sell you ending your pain. They cannot sell you ending your loneliness. All of the things that matter, all the real things that are real struggles that people go through that actually end up making them very interesting people that you would want to get to know and spend time with. None of these tech people can cure that anyway. So then they're trying to sell you the little bit of convenience that maybe will make you feel like, oh, if I got all this time back, what does time back even mean? What does time back really mean? If you were at your home washing dishes, maybe, look, nobody likes washing dishes. I don't know if anybody likes washing dishes. It's old food, it's kind of nasty. You're like, what did I even have? What did I eat that sticks to the bowl like this? Because whatever that is in me. Is it sticking to me the way it's sticking to the bowl? That's crazy. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of this. If I can't get rid of the stain, then, ooh, my insides are stained right now. Sure. But I think it is such an important practice to appreciate all of these moments in your life. So often, we're trying to be distracted from the thing that if we focused on, we might enjoy. Because I'm not saying all of a sudden you'll love washing the dishes, but I think while you're washing the dishes and while you're sitting there thinking, maybe thinking about your day, maybe thinking about nothing, maybe thinking about the dishes, you could come potentially to an appreciation of the fact that you have a home. You have a home where you can cook your meals. You have dishes. You have dishes that you can use to serve your family, food that you worked for, that maybe something good can come of it, you know? Because this robot, I don't know. It's so expensive. It's so crazy expensive. Like, it's so much money. Why don't you just hire a person? You could hire a person. If you have robot money and you've never seen any sci-fi, still hire a person. You could watch movies with your butler. You could make that one of the jobs. I need you to do windows, floors, and hang out. Like, I do need a friend. I've been very lonely. It's incredibly important to not take for granted all those things that, even though they're inconvenient, they're a part of your life, you know? I've made friends doing things I didn't want to do. Like there were moments where I was like, oh, this thing is taking up my time. Or maybe I'm delayed. You know, sometimes you get delayed, whether it's the train, it's the airport, you're waiting on a bus, you get delayed. And you don't want to be delayed. You want to get where you're going. That's why you want to go there. I understand. But everyone's delayed. It's the same problem everyone has. And everyone having the same problem is one of the fastest ways to build community. You know? Because now everybody's upset that you're delayed. And there's always that one person that isn't traveling with anyone. So they kick it off for everybody. I'm sure they seem upset. They seem upset. But I think they're having this outburst because they don't have anybody to turn to be like, can you believe? So then they turn to you. Can you believe? They turned to me and they were like, can you believe? And I was like, no, I do believe. Like, I don't think they would do it as a prank. Like, I do believe them when they say it's not here yet, because I also looked out the window and it's not here yet. And I don't think they, like, hide in it. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a very bad prank to be like, we gonna tell them the flight not coming. You know how people love that, right? Like, that's one of my favorite things. I can't believe they didn't do that on Punk'd. I can't believe that Ashton Kutcher didn't delay a whole flight just so that people could be like, and then... No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. You know? And she was like, yeah, maybe if it gets here, you know, it'll be all right. But it'll be all right. I was like, well, what is it? What's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, I have somewhere to be. I'm supposed to meet my grandbaby. I'm supposed to meet my grandbaby. All right? And immediately I had more empathy for where she was coming from, because she wasn't just upset that the flight was delayed because she likes being a problem. She is a grandbaby to me. I've never had a grandbaby to meet, but I imagine if I did, I would be in a hurry. I have a grandbaby to me. I was like, oh, really? You have a grandbaby? How old? And she's like, she was born 3 days ago. I was like, wow. 3 days ago, okay. It does sound like you got plenty of time to get over there, because 3 is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, she knew, like that. You know what I mean? Like, she got a whole life ahead of her, and I think it'll be fine, you know. I was like, do you have any pictures? And she was like, oh, do I have pictures? And then she showed me pictures of her brand new grandbaby, and it was incredibly sweet. We just sat there at the gate. I didn't even mention to her that I had been at this airport for 32 hours. She was showing me pictures of her grandbaby. It was incredible. I just think that a lot of things could be missed out on, you know, with this robot, because even the duties, even the stuff that it's supposed to do, that's stuff that would be great to do with your people. You want this thing to cook for you or whatever? Why don't you invite your friends over? You have a meal together. That's a memory. Now you're not like laying in front of the TV waiting for this robot to finish. A robot, by the way, that if it came down to some nuts in the dish, because even in the product rollout, they had this, I guess they had this journalist ask the questions we would ask. And so one of the questions was, well, How do I know, you say this robot can lift whatever, like 150 pounds over its head. How do I know that it's not gonna kill me in my sleep? If you're worried that your black robot is gonna kill you in your sleep, do you know? I'll tell you right now. I'm not a scientist. I'm not into tech like that. I'm not an engineer. I don't. The number one way to not have your black robot kill you in your sleep is to not have a black robot in your house at all.
You seen your headline on The Daily Show. You see them all over YouTube. I want you to put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I do my best to be fair with people. I'm not perfect at it, but I try, And sometimes the fairest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. Like, so how many people do you know in your life who are suffering because the people around them let them live in delusion? You know what I mean? I've had to sit friends down and be like, listen, you're gonna have to date who like you. There's no way around it. So sometimes the nicest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Donald Trump might be having one of the worst weeks of his life. This is very, very bad. I mean, this is, oof. I've watched people have bad weeks. I've watched people have terrible weeks. There was a dude from my hometown that would ride his bike everywhere, and he got hit by a car and struck by lightning in the same week. He survived both, but wow. Because he was riding his bike, and a lot of cities in the South we don't have enough sidewalk. We really abandoned the entire idea of someone might want to get somewhere in not a car. So he was riding his bike, but there's no sidewalk, and there's also no bike lane where I grew up. And so there's just if you take the service road, it's just ditch and then ditch and then ditch and then ditch. And so then he over here BMXing the ditches going. But then when you do that, you do appear out of nowhere, because the ditch is deep enough where you ride, and then there's a little bit of road, then there's another ditch, and then you pick up another ditch, right? That's how you get there. But anyone making a left turn on the service road just sees someone on a bike coming truly out of nowhere and sends them flying, right? So he got hit by a car, and the car was turning, so this means it was slower than it could have been, and turned into him. He flipped over everything, bam, 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 landed in the ditch, so at least landed on some grass, right? And then he was all banged up, and then he had to walk the rest of the week until he get his bike fixed, until he healed up a little bit. He had to, walk around town. He was walking around town, and there was a thunderstorm. which normally, here's the thing, this is like a big Southern tradition, right? Is that when it's lightning outside, nobody do anything. We turn off the TV. Turn off every appliance. Unplug it. Turn off everything. And don't move. I know you inside, don't move. That lightning see you moving from outside, it might want to come visit, all right? Don't move, stop. Be still where you are unless you are moving to unplug something or turn something off. In fact, lay down on the ground so you can be grounded. And sometimes you'll tell people, like someone will like not be from the South and they'll come over and it'll be a lightning storm and you just start turning everything off and they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, okay, you can play with the Lord if you want to, but... I like not being lit up, okay? I'm not even using this blender right now anyway. What point is there for this house to get struck by lightning and then the blender work real good for 6 seconds and then never work again? And so he was walking out in the thunderstorm, and to be fair to him, it was like, what was he supposed to do? I guess lay down. But like, what was he really supposed to do? So he's walking, making his way and everything, and up off ditch, and now he can watch for cars a little easier because he's on foot and stuff, ditch and everything. And then the lightning hit him, right? And it hit okay, the way, I never been hit by lightning before, but the way that it hit him, he did, this is what I'm told, I was not there, but the way the lightning hit him, he did bounce. And I don't know, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that could happen because it didn't seem like being struck by lightning was a buoyancy thing. But yeah, like he basically got hit by lightning and then he didn't bounce high. It's not like he bounced like a basketball up, but he basically, lightning, boom, and then he went up a little and then he hit the ground all hot. Charred. And then he had like a scar along the body and everything because struck by lightning and survived. I've never seen personally somebody get hit by lightning and then get up. I wouldn't. If I got struck by lightning, I'd be like, y'all, you know what? The Lord knows I need a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. Works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you just need to sit down somewhere. What makes you sit down anywhere like being struck by lightning? And so, he boom. And that was trying to get places next 2 days was very rough because he was already banged up from the car and he was crispy. And he still wasn't having the week that Donald Trump is having. This is very bad. All right, in case you're not familiar, Donald Trump, the president was, like minding his business, trying to enjoy the government shutdown ending, right? Which should be, that should be a good day. It should, you shut down ended and everything. And so, he got signed the thing and he has everybody in the office and stuff. And the night before, looks like the House Dems released these 3 emails that were from Epstein's estate. So it's different. It's different from like if something was subpoenaed, and it's not like something that was like sealed and then is being released. This, I think, works differently where it's just from the estate, right? And so then they release these 3 emails, and the 3 emails are not, they're not Epstein talking to Trump. They're Epstein talking about Trump. And on what should have been a good day. All right, the best way I could describe what happened is I went to a birthday party, and at this birthday party were a bunch of different friend groups. Like, I shouldn't say a bunch, it's like 2 friend groups. But I don't know if you've ever had this in your life where you have this person who you're friends with who has a bunch of friends, and then you have this other person you're friends with who has a bunch of friends. But it's enough people in general, whether it's because of school or because of work or whatever, it's enough people in general that the people that know them, eventually there's an overlap of people who are friends with this person, but hate each other. Like they hate each other, or they hate the other friend, but they're part of this friend group, hate the other friend, right? So I was at one of those birthday parties. I was at a birthday party for someone, and the person who hated him the most came to the birthday party. They came because they were invited by our least thoughtful friend, and so having no awareness, least thoughtful friend invites them to the surprise party. And so then we're all like, hey, surprise. And they see this person. They were surprised. And then everybody's waiting for something to pop off, and nothing ever did, because they hate each other. Like, ooh, they hate is under. It's below the heart. It's behind and underneath. They hate from like the diaphragm, I think. They hate so much. They hate him. Anyway, so they hated the birthday boy a lot. Like, ooh, I wish I hate you. And so then they bring out the cake, and the cake got like one of the candles for every year, and they getting up there, so it's enough candles to light up a room, and put it down. Birthday boy blows them all out. They cut up the cake. We're all chatting and everything in different rooms and stuff. And then the one that hate him, right, leans over to me, and he's like, before everybody, was like singing happy birthday and everything, before they like brought out the cake and stuff, I farted in the cake. In my head, I was like, in? In just assumes a level of power that normally you'd say on, but whatever. And that is what the House Dems did to Trump on the day. It's supposed to be, it's not his birthday, but it's supposed to be a good day. And shutdown is ending. It's supposed to be good for, it's supposed to be good day. And so then you see in these emails, they're just not good at all. And it's not like, this is why I would be mad if I was Trump, because it's not even Epstein talking to Trump, it's Epstein talking to somebody else about Trump, right? So it's the equivalent of like, you at home, and your friend did something, got caught, and then your friend comes to your house with the police. Your friend come to your house with the police and go, hey, come on out, they got us. Because the email doesn't even like one of the main ones that was making the rounds on the news doesn't even like implicate Trump in anything. It just implies that Trump knows something that Epstein knows about what Epstein did that is very bad. That he hasn't told any authorities, but he knows is bad, right? Which doesn't look good. It's just one of those like, this is bad for everybody. Is what? Ooh. And I don't know how we got to this place because Epstein saga has so many episodes. There is a Marvel universe of Epstein updates. It's never over, you know. It just goes deeper, and then you know, this is what the Dems do. Then the Republicans come out, and Republicans are like, all right, but why were the Dems sitting on these emails? Why are they releasing them now? That's pretty convenient, right? Like, why are you farting in his birthday cake? And then, I suppose, to try to show transparency, to try to be like, we're actually the party that wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein thing the most, the Republicans release 20,000 pages. 20,000 pages. I don't know if I've sent 20,000 emails in my life. 20,000 like emails, these pages of Epstein talking about everything, talking about Trump, talking about like Larry Summers, talking about like, it's so much. It's so much it makes you wonder, whoa, why 20,000? It almost felt like they were like, you know what? Release 20,000. You know people don't read. You know they won't read it. It turns out the people are pretty interested in reading. It turns out if it's an interesting enough novel, people will dive deep into the reading. Yeah. Because we're in a stressful time where it doesn't feel like things fully matter. Like there used to, okay, back in the day, there was shame. So like, if you were in public office, if you were in public office and you did something or somebody accused you of something, or like sometimes it didn't even have to be anything. There was enough shame that you would resign or you would retire from politics in shame because we had shame. Like people had more shame, right? And I don't know, I'm not gonna blame all of it on like social or influencer culture or anything like that, but we have more people than ever that we know about in our own little pockets, right? We have more people than ever that are involved in scandals. It used to be if you were in a scandal, you were either a politician or like a Hollywood celebrity. Those were really the only people who could even get into a scandal. But now you could just be an influencer and like even more specific, you could be like a makeup influencer and you get into a scandal that only affects the people who watch you, right? And so now we're watching more people than ever try to navigate having a scandal, which has also made scandals more normal. And so now instead of looking to how we would all expect someone in a scandal to react, we look at how the person reacts. So you go back in time, like all Nixon did was listen to some tapes. Like when you really sum it up, it's like, yes, the spying and the blah, blah, blah. But it's like Nixon himself, like just Nixon, listened to a garbled tape that was of no consequence, really. It was like... That man resigned over... And I know he did plenty other stuff besides... I'm just saying, like, the thing that when we think of Watergate, when people even really think about what Watergate is or what it meant to people, it was the scandal of, like, the government spying and how the opposition treats each other and everything like that. But when you really look at Nixon, I'm not taking up for Nixon at all. I'm literally just saying that when I watched the documentary, it sounded like he resigned over... And he left. And now, there's like a scam. There's something happening. And obviously, everybody puts it on Trump specifically. And he is our version of it, but it was happening all around the West before this. Like, it was bubbling up. Everything does not revolve around this man. There was something that was happening in lots of different places where politicians were realizing how much they could stress test the trust of the general public, right? Like, you even look at Canada with Rob Ford. Rob Ford was the mayor of Toronto. And Rob Ford smoked crack on camera. This man did just smoke crack on camera. He smoked more crack than I've ever seen anybody smoke on camera. He smoked crack on camera so many times that I think he is the most crack smoke taped person of all time. Lots of crack. And he'd get drunk too. And it would be like, who set up the camera? I guess Rob Ford. Like, he just... It was scandal after scandal after scandal. It was stuff he would say. It was videos that would come out. It was stuff that he would say. It was videos that come out. It would just be over and over and over again. He wasn't like turning some new leaf. He was just one of the first people that when they came to him, they were like, were you smoking crack? And he was like, I was not smoking crack. Then in the next video it came out, he's like, oh, it's delicious. Like, I can't tell you how much crack he was smoking. And just never seen somebody smoke crack like it was candy, right? And like... This is okay. Look, maybe this may be wrong of me, but when I was watching the documentary about him smoking the crack and stuff like that, before they revealed that there were tons of crack tapes, like a ridiculous amount of crack tapes. I don't know if anybody watched all the crack tapes. He has that many, right? But before they revealed that he actually did smoke crack, when he was denied smoking the crack, I was like, I don't know if this dude did this. Like, sure, he's like brash, and sure, he's like, you know, this like wild character. I definitely believe he was getting drunk, and they even showed a video of him drunk. I didn't believe the crack because I had never seen... Do you know what I mean? I had just never seen such a heavy-set crackhead. You know what I mean? Like, he would... I'm just saying, like, he had that plausible deniability from me because every crackhead I'd ever seen was petite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right, fine, whatever. Some of y'all being weird, but you know you've never seen somebody smoke crack and have a cheeseburger. That is not something that happens within the same 5 minutes. No one has crack for dessert. And he was one of the first people. Like, he was actually a little bit pre-Trump, right? People forget about him, but he was. And they came to him, and they were like, aren't you going to resign in shame? And he was like, I don't even really feel any shame. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to stay. And we still, as a people, in every country this happens in, don't know what to do with that. We don't. Like, that happens, and we're like, oh, I thought you would have some shame. And Rob was like, no, I don't have any shame. I have crack. And it's delicious. Truly, when I tell you, sometimes I can even feel the shame creeping up, but like, shame and crack never meet. They're never in the same room together. So if you feel any of that shame creeping in and you hit a little crack, shame seems to disappear. You know? Because now you even look at like with like influencer culture, there used to be this thing, like let's take it all the way back, right? Let's take it all the way back to maybe like the 80s or 90s, where if a tape came out of you in some sort of lewd act, it was immediately shameful. It was like immediately the thought process around it. I'm not even saying whether or not that's right. I'm saying that's what people did. Okay, and now you fast forward to today, and something will leak. Maybe someone's nudes leak, maybe a video of them leaks, and then we wait for the person to react to know if we feel shame for them, or if we try to shame them. It's all based off their reaction. We look to them to know what to do next. So if something happens, if a tape goes out, if some nudes leak or something like that, and the person's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I look like." We're like, oh, okay, all right, wow. And not across the board. I'm just saying that becomes the sort of general understanding. But then if that person's reaction is, oh no, you saw me naked. We'll be like, oh, we did. Shame. And so then these 20,000 pages come out, and wow, also not good. Not good at all. Because it's not just Epstein implicating Trump in like other meetings, other times they hung out, other things, other. It's also like Epstein talking real nasty and bad about Trump. Now this is, look, some of it is before their breakup, and then some of it is after. And there have been plenty of people that said, hey, listen, this guy who is no longer friends with Trump, talking bad about Trump after they're not friends anymore, what's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Why should that even matter? And it's like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but if he's talking about anything that happened while they were still friends, while they hung out to somebody, that does mean something. That does matter, you know? And he was talking wild about Trump, even saying stuff like, I'm the only one that could bring him down with the stuff I know and everything. And look, this is just me. Just me, all right? I'm not friends with Epstein. Glad I wasn't, okay? But I'm just saying, if it was me and Epstein was talking this reckless about me over email with all these people, I'd probably be very upset. I'd get very mad. I'd probably get mad enough to kill him in his cell. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm saying that's what I might do. Me. I'm saying that's what I might do, but I'm petty. You know? I didn't let you stay in my house and everything. You talking crazy about me in these emails. No. You gotta go. There's gonna be a missing minute in the video. Because that's also what's wild. That's where we left off, you know? Remember where we left off, where there was they released the video and it was hours long and it was missing the most important minute it could miss. Yeah. Remember when there were like no files? Remember when Pam Bondi was like, look, there's no files. Don't listen to your memory. I know what I said before, but what I'm saying now is more important. There's no files. Isn't it more convincing that there's no files than there's files? And we were all like, what is she talking about? It's bad. It's bad. You know what's so crazy to me? You know what's so crazy to me about a lot of this stuff is that this is Trump we're talking about. Trump was on trial in New York for like, I don't know, some like real estate fraud or whatever. And this dude, it wasn't looking good. It was looking like he might, get found guilty. And the judge had to give him a bunch of warnings. The judge is over here like, you need to stop talking about this case to the media. You need to stop talking about me to the media. Stop. I don't know what else he was doing. Like, stop doxing the stenographer. What? Like, stop. Just stop. You talking too much. Nobody that's a defendant in any of my other cases I oversee talks as much as you to the media about this case. You gotta stop. And then Trump, for his part, Trump, even to his credit, I'd say, was like in danger of being held in contempt almost the entirety of the case. And the judge like, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. I'm gonna do it. And Trump was like, do it. No, do it. I want to be in contempt. I bet you won't do it. And then he would tell him, don't go out there and talk to the media about this case. And then Trump would walk up to the first person with a camera he saw. It could be a camera phone. He'd just walk up. And he was like, judge doesn't know what he's doing. He crooked. Everybody crooked. I'm going to win in 2020. But just nonstop. You got to remember, that's the guy that we're talking about. But that's not how he's acting about this. Which means it must be bad. This dude was in court and wasn't scared. But this man, they reached out to all of these Republicans to try to help stop this petition, right? There's this petition to release the Epstein files in the House, and that petition has to go to the Senate. The petition, but he's trying to get it stopped. He's trying to get it killed, like now. Want it killed now, right? Gotta kill it. And so he's reaching out to people who have even been vocal about the fact that they will be on board with signing the petition. Reaches out to, like, Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is the thing. Look, at the end of the day, maybe he did reach out because he just wanted to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. If you could put all politics aside in your mind and you hop on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it will be interesting. You know what I mean? You'll be like, I didn't know about the lasers, Marjorie. If I was ever on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know what I would do to keep her on the phone? I would every couple sentences, I'd just go, oh! Let her think she was blowing my mind. Throw in a really every now and again. Calls Marjorie Taylor Greene. Apparently none of them are having it. Apparently. Lauren Boebert even was pressured so much to not sign a petition, she was like, it must be worse than I thought. Y'all barely talk to me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't put her foot down. Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually really turned on Trump so much that it got Trump's attention so much that Trump has turned on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're beefing right now, which is hilarious. That is so funny. The idea that Trump is over here being like, y'all know Marjorie Taylor, he's over here calling her a lunatic, calling her crazy, all this stuff like that. The fact that Trump is over here like, Marjorie Taylor Greene crazy, and we're like, we know. That's wild. What other revelations you got? Did you know Hannibal Lecter wasn't a good guy? I'll tell you as well why Trump's not having a good week. You know, there's been interviews, and there's just been a general discontent with some of what's happening in the country. You know, Trump ran on America First. It's supposed to be Americans first. It's supposed to be America first. But what is happening? And what place is America in? It doesn't seem like there's a one in front of it. know, because people point to, how ruthless in the shutdown things got with SNAP, how people are treated, in the country, how America First just sort of feels like a slogan. It doesn't feel like it's really in the agenda. It doesn't feel like what's really happening and everything. And so then you see members of the MAGA movement turning on Trump. And maybe not fully and maybe not forever, but it is like happening. There's this swell of discontent with what he's been doing, how the country is right now. There were so many things that are supposed to be fixed on day one. You can talk as much as you want. He's very good at campaigning. He's not good at governing. Like he's so good at campaigning because campaigning is before you have to. All right. One of the roughest drawbacks with dating, right, is that someone's getting to know you. They don't know you yet, and you can put your best foot forward. You can even try to be the person you're pretending to be, but they're getting to know you, right? And the thing is that early phase where they're getting to know you, the good stuff that happens can also hurt you in the long run. Okay, like my buddy, all right, they had like a fun little, we're gonna cook for our first date, right? I'm gonna go take a little cooking class. And so they go to this cooking class, and there was this jar, and she couldn't open the jar. She was trying with the jar. Trying with the jar. And you can even tell that she was kind of loosening it, but finally she handed it to him, and he goes immediately, right? Which is great. You did it. But now you gotta be strong enough to open jars. It looked like that's what you do. No. Ooh, you gotta watch out. Some of the stuff that happens that first time, you in trouble, man. You in trouble if it's the first 3 dates and y'all get into something scary happens. Maybe somebody even tries to mug you or something like that, and you win the fight. Oh, I hope you weren't just lucky. I hope you weren't just lucky, because now my man fight, all right? She gonna tell everybody her man fights. She might even start a couple fights for you. Oh, you want my man to come over here and handle you? In the back of your head, you're like, look, the mugger slipped in a puddle. I mean, I just grabbed the purse back. That's all I did. And like dating to being in a relationship is like what campaigning is to governing. It's wild even to watch some people's reactions. There are some people who have some truly insane and disgusting reactions, or just reactions that are meant to confuse. There are so many people that are like, why didn't the Dems release all this stuff years ago when Biden was president? And it's like, all right, this is the way that records work. There are some things that you could just release outright, like things that maybe you get from an estate or something like that. But then there are things that are part of an investigation, which as long as that investigation is going on, as long as that court case is going on, you can't just release those things to the public. Now that some of these things have been set to rest now, like, obviously like Ghislaine is in jail and everything. And then there are other parts of documents that get redacted, either because they're part of a potential ongoing investigation, or it's to protect the name of a survivor of the abuse or something like that. There's all these different reasons that you could have for when you release things on whatever schedule. But even when people make that sort of argument, I'm like, wait, I can't tell. Are you mad that they are released? Like, I don't even know what that's meant to accomplish. Why didn't the Dems release it sooner? It's like, all right, it's out now. Isn't that what we're talking about? That's insane. That type of logic would never hold up in like court. You'd never be able to go to court with like, look, if the police care so much, why didn't they catch me sooner? Y'all over here acting like you care. I did it a long time ago. You didn't try that hard to find me. Oh. You see so much of this stuff happening, and you're like, wow, every day you try to move on. Every time you try to move on, it gets worse. 20,000. And 20,003 emails. And I don't know what's gonna happen, because if I'm being honest, like truly being honest with you right now, I know that one of the reasons that Trump is trying to get them to stop in the House from all signing the petition is because then it goes to the Senate, and then if enough people have turned on him in the Senate, it then goes to the president, and he is the president, which means he would have to, and we stopped electing people with integrity a long time ago. So like I don't expect, like truly, I don't expect Trump to sign something that is basically dry snitching on himself. I don't think that would happen. Dry humping. But I will say this, I think that there's a very slim chance that it's like Trump's gonna go to jail, or that this will be enough for everyone to turn on him and then just kick him out of office or anything. This is one of those things that is very bad. It's a very bad look. He's panicked about it. People are speculating why he's panicked about it, but it's not the thing that's gonna make him sort of like Nixon up out of here. I'm just being honest with you. And I think that it's easy to forget in all of these different chapters and all of these like extra extensions to the saga that is the sort of Epstein files, that there are real people. There are survivors of Epstein, there are survivors of Ghislaine, that are survivors of all of this abuse and trauma that deserve justice. And the thing that we can do, the thing that we just personally can do, is keep that in mind and hold the people that represent us to account. Let them know that we'll be looking at them for what they do consistently, that we'll be bringing it up, that we won't let it go away. It won't be over just because it falls out of the news cycle. It will not go away. It won't be over. And I think the only thing that we can do as individuals, but collectively together, is just keep farting in his cake as often as possible. Chattanooga, y'all been fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Give it up for Josh Johnson.
This weekend, wow, it is for everybody. I imagine this weekend was weird. It was weird because for like half a day, we did think half a day. That's so long. Half of a day. It's a very long time to think the president. And then, we found out, it wasn't the case. And they posted, the news reports came out. They were like, the president's been found golfing in Virginia. It's like, Don't say found like that. Found. Like a lost senior. Found. It's insane. Just say he was golfing in Virginia. Found in Virginia? It makes it sound like the White House didn't know. I'm pretty sure they drove him. Found. 12 hours is too long to think somebody's dead. My buddy lives with his grandpa. And every time he thinks his grandpa's dead, he finds out in about 5 minutes. His granddaddy does that sleep you only do when you old. You know that sleep where you like... Yeah, like I don't know why, but like it seems like after 70, people just sleep with a little bit too much neck. You know what I mean? Like his granddad can't just go to sleep. He always hit the. Like, that's a very dead way to lay. That's how Talia died at the end of Dark Knight Rises. She's like. The neck crank is a surefire way for somebody to put a spoon in front of your nose to see if you're still kicking. He does it a lot, apparently, you know, because his granddaddy sleeps pretty deep. There's that whole thing about sleep being the cousin of death, and I think it's his granddaddy's half-brother, because not even a snore, not even a you know what I mean? He said he always thinks his grandpa gone when he take a nap because the way he falls asleep, which to be fair to my friend, this is I've never seen this in anyone else in my entire life. But he said his granddad will go take a nap. He'll announce it too, like, I lay down. And then he goes to lay down, whether it's on the couch or it's in his room, and lays his head back. And he said the way his granddaddy falls asleep is he takes a deep breath. That's a great way to look dead. This man goes to take a nap, lays on the couch and goes, Now, to be fair to his granddaddy, every time he wakes up, he does finish the breath. Said his granddad never wake up peaceful. He always wake up. But even then, he's never wondered if his granddaddy was gone for 12 hours. 12 hours. Jeez. And we thought that because Trump doesn't look good. You know what I mean? He just finally looked like he act like. You know what I mean? Like if somebody listed everything a person did next to everything that they ingested, you'd be like, that's not a person who's well. And finally, he doesn't, he just doesn't look like he's doing great. you know, I even know the term. He had some venous thing. Turns out that venous thing was his ankles. His ankles. I don't know if you've seen them. World leaders have seen them. World leaders have had to sit there and not look. In case you're not familiar, look, Trump's ankles are... No, his ankles just sitting there looking, you know, caked up. Like... I mean, he got some thickums under those socks. Trump's ankles have quite a bit of booty. I can't imagine what that must be like to be an aide in the White House and walking next to the president, taking orders from the president of the United States, but all you can hear is his ankles clapping. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, it is. It's like his ankles and then his hand. That hand. You know, like his hand is black. Like it's just... Imagine being Donald Trump and turning black. No one's more upset than him. No, that's bad. That's tough. You know, he's over here trying to live, and if you just don't have something on the schedule, people assume. It's funny too because I go back and forth with friends. I have friends that are sort of across the political spectrum. You know, I have these friends who, whether they tell me or not, I know that they voted for Trump. At least one of them, I'm pretty sure, voted for him 3 times. You know? Every time he could, he did. And so we'll go back and forth all the time. You know, we'll mostly be arguing all the time. And we argue about a bunch of things that aren't Trump as well. Like sometimes we'll just argue about like whole social issues, whole different policies and everything. And maybe it's because I've known him longer than Trump has been president that I feel like having those arguments is, to me, worth it. You know, I don't ask anybody else to do everything that I'm doing, but I think that there is something to get to the bottom of, and it's what we are gonna do when he's gone. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that right now it's easy to put everything that's happening and how we feel about each other on one person, because it's sort of the catalyst for all this stuff. But the groundwork was being laid long before he ever became president. And so whenever he's gone, you know, we're all going to have to figure out a way to relate to each other. Because it's not as if all of the problems begin and end with him. You know, he's just one of them. But I don't know. No idea. It's maybe. We don't know. It could be any day now. It could be 200 more years. Truly, like, my grandma was in the nursing home before she passed, and I would go visit her and everything. My grandfather as well, at different times, they were in nursing homes, and when I go to visit them, you'd see people who had to be 3,000 years old. And it's like, I don't know, you try to live a life that's full of love, and like you try to make memories and moments with family, with strangers. You want to have a full life. You want to have a life that you look back on and you're proud of the impact you had on people, and along the way, try to maybe, I don't know, eat right when you can, but enjoy yourselves, and drink sometimes, not too often. Maybe party a little bit when you're younger and wean off of it as you get older, but do your best to have a really impactful life, even if you never become whatever it is, like rich, famous, popular. You're someone who, by being in other people's lives, their lives are richer. And same way that trees in the forest have roots that overlap, your life impacts other people's lives. You create ripple effects and create positive change in the world. And hopefully by doing all the right things, you have a good, long life. Or you could be the devil and probably live way longer, like way longer. So many of those people in that nursing home were very mean. They were so mean. I was like, man, life must run off hate fuel. How are you this old and mad you're alive too? Be sitting there, none keeps you alive longer than sitting in a rocking chair and not rocking. Imagine, you gotta really be a bad person to sit in a rocking chair, have the joy of rocking and not even want it. My friend said, he went through a similar thing. He would go to the nursing home, visit his grandparents and stuff, and he said every day there was this old dude in a rocking chair, not rocking, sitting there, arms crossed in the chair. Everybody walked by. People would say hello to him. Finally, he was like, you know what? I say hello to this man when I pass him, and we never really have a conversation. He doesn't speak to me, and I don't take it personally because you never know what people are going through. Some people, you might think they're being rude, but maybe they have something going on. Maybe they have dementia a little bit, or maybe they're in their own head about something, trying to remember something and doing something. So he said, I'm going to make a point the next time I go there to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Because that's the one thing he said he never saw anybody do. And so next time he went to visit his grandpa, on the way out, he walked up to him and he was like, hi, how you doing? The man said, I'm alive. And he's like, well, I hope you're having a good day. He's like, why would it be a good day? And, well, it's nice outside and everything, sun shining. You're in a rocking chair. And he was like, I'm in a rocking chair. I don't like this rocking chair. I just sit in it so nobody else cares. It's easy to put everything in the way that we are now and all narratives and all discourse on just one person. It's easy to do that, especially when that person looks like they're driving all of it, right? But the ground was laid for this person long before they came into any sort of political picture. You know what I mean? Like for a long time, people have felt like there was nobody who was looking out for them. For a long time, people felt like it would take somebody who could not be bought by Washington or Wall Street's special interest money, or couldn't be twisted in whichever direction by lobbyists, or was looking out for people because they weren't motivated by money, and they weren't motivated by the promise of getting rich, and the thing that we came to believe as a country almost. You saw this way before Trump ever entered the political picture, is that if someone was at least independently wealthy, maybe they wouldn't be swayed by the money. You know what I mean? And there were those people across political spectrum that felt like there was no one looking out for them, that slowly everything that was their quality of life and everything that they earned was eroding away piece by piece, right? And that they just needed someone to step up who would stand in the way of all that and wouldn't be swayed by it. And unfortunately, that person never showed up. But like... And so I have these arguments with my friend, and there was one point where I'm going back and forth for a while, because I felt like for everything that he said, I was saying something that was a reason why he shouldn't trust Trump on it, or why I didn't think it was something that was going to happen, you know? And finally he goes, well, you know, he's a businessman. And I had heard this before, and he said he's a businessman. And I was like, oh, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman, though. No, like he is a businessman. He is a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. You said he's a businessman, and he's a businessman. You told me he's a businessman. I've heard this before. He's a businessman. I'm just making sure that I understand what you're saying. He's a businessman. He is a businessman. He's a businessman. So even you didn't say good businessman. You said, You said, as in he's one, as in, yes, he does business. It's a businessman. Yeah. He's a businessman. He is a businessman that bankrupted a casino. You know casinos. You know those things you don't generally leave money with. He bankrupted a casino. He's a businessman. He bankrupted a casino. A casino, though. He's a businessman. It's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. And look, I'm not a businessman. And I don't own a casino. In fact, whenever I go to a casino, I don't even gamble. I just do the show. I've done some shows at casinos. And then, I do the show, and then I go back to my room. I leave. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of running a casino. I hardly know what it's like to really, enjoy yourself at a casino, walking through and playing games and stuff. I've walked with other people as they've wanted to gamble and stuff like that. I've been awkwardly standing there, but I don't know what it takes to run a casino. And maybe this casino, maybe I'm throwing this out there as an olive branch. One of many I'll extend. Maybe this casino, this one, maybe had those slot machines that really give you credit for how hard you pull them. You know what I mean? You pull that slot machine as hard as you can, and the slot machine's like, okay, Daddy. Nah, I gotta get you a little something for that. No, I don't know, but he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Maybe I'm throwing it out there that at this casino they had, working for the casino, blackjack dealers that were as bad at blackjack as me. Maybe. The dealer, you'd be at his table, and he was like, you said hit? You sure? Okay. And you win again. All right, wonderful. I don't know. He probably knows because he's a businessman. Maybe. This was one of the only casinos in all of America, maybe in all of the world. The only casino with clocks. Who knows? Maybe just over the poker table was a clock, and people were like, 9 already? I should go home. I've been here for quite a while. I don't know, but I'm sure he knows because he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Bankrupted a casino. A businessman. And look, it's a casino. I can't think of a better... People come and drop off their money and leave. I can't think... I am not a businessman, but I can't think of a better business to make money. You can't even have casinos everywhere. But, you know, this is my thing. A part of me does understand how someone could think all we need to do is get a businessman in there to fix everything, because I think that America runs so much like a business, even in the parts that it shouldn't, that obviously we're going to think everything translates to business. You know? Like I didn't, this was where I was naive, I'll tell you right now. I thought that even if there was no national pride or community, or even if we couldn't find some sort of like camaraderie as Americans, we at least, at our very core, loved money enough. I thought we loved money more than anyone loved him. I thought as soon as somebody messed with the money, we would all come to our senses and be like, yo, not the money. That's the only thing holding this together. But then you see there are people whose lives have already been ruined. Because of his policies, you could lay all the blame at his feet, and they're like, I'll figure something else out. You'll figure something else out. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Especially when, like, what? 12 months ago, you were screaming about eggs. And now your business is in shambles. And you're like, who can say? That felt insane. But also, I think that if you look at America as a business, it would make sense that you would want a businessman in there. But the thing is, you can't run the country the way you run a business. You know, a company, if they are in dire straits, could lay off half their work staff and then try to keep things going, use that to stay afloat. A company can buy back its own stocks in an effort to enrich itself as a company, make those stocks worth more. A company has a fiduciary responsibility to its shareholders. A company technically does more for its shareholders than the government does for its people. And so I could see how people would be like, oh, we'd at least like to get that. that be nice? Some dividends or equity? Something. We'd at least like to feel solvent. No. But it just doesn't work that way. And I don't think it should. I think that a business now is very different than a business before. Like there's a thing that happened, and maybe it's only like my frame of reference because of age and everything, but I think that something happened in 2008 that we haven't recovered from still, which is that, like, for the first time ever, companies that truly screwed up beyond measure, like actually beyond measure, like they should have crashed everything. This is the type of stuff that you read in the textbook and then they, hung everybody. Like that's... We don't realize it, but that's the level of like nasty that it got in 2008. If you had, knocked off a couple 100 years and put it in France, there would have been a guillotine. You know what I mean? And instead, there was a bailout, but instead of a bailout of the people, it was a bailout of the companies, because we believe in business so much. We believe that everything works like a business, to the point where even the politicians, naively, maybe some of them sincerely, were sure that if we keep the business afloat, it'll keep the people afloat, because then people won't lose their jobs, and then people will still be able to get these services, and people will still buy these products, right? And what ended up happening is that, so many people were foreclosed on, so many people lost their jobs anyway, people's like 401ks and retirements were destroyed, and then the people that they gave the bailout to sort of, trickle down the economics, something got stopped up right at the top. And so people who had wrecked the economy beyond measure got a bonus. They got a bonus for wrecking usually when you break something. And ever since then, it feels like business is about not being left holding the bag. That's what real business seems to be now, is that you do everything you can to extract as much value as possible, and then you dip before everything comes crashing down, whether you dip because you sell the company, or you dip because, you decide to shutter it after you've like fired everyone and ruined it as a service and everything. Basically private equity, right? So I believe he's a businessman. I do, because I'm sure, look, if we're talking business, to his credit, I'm sure that he was not worse off for bankrupting that casino. I'm sure it was the people that worked at the casino. I'm sure he stiffed some of the contractors who helped build the casino, but I'm sure that he found a way to leverage that debt, because he loves debt. He found a way to leverage that debt into his next venture, and then he started selling steaks or whatever. I don't know. Like, it was just, it's been a lot of products. You know what else it is too, is that you can't focus too much on this one person. It makes him more important than he really is. I understand that he's president. I understand he's one of the richest people in the world, but as far as importance, it's about what lasts, This dude, no wonder we thought he was gone. He went on Fox News. No wonder we thought he was gone. Trump went on Fox News. Everybody forget this. Trump went on Fox News and just started randomly, no one asked him, randomly talking about how he was trying to get into heaven. And it's like, then One thing my buddy's granddaddy never does is talk about the afterlife. Gets up, watches his shows, takes his naps, gets up and eats, and repeats. If he was pontificating on heaven, I think people would just start assuming that every nap really was the last nap. No. It's because, a man's hand. Guys, he's turning black. But I don't, look, I truly talk about Trump because he's in the news, but I don't really care about Trump. I care about people. What's going on with people? All of this is going to outlast this one person, you know? And even in California, you see in California where there was one case, it seems contained and already treated and everything, but it is happening. One case of plague. You know plague. You know plague. Plague. Some would ask which plague. Apparently, the. You know plague from the producers of the Middle Ages. Plague. You know plague. Don't act like you don't know plague. You know plague. It's plague. The reason Europe's not bigger. Plague. You know plague. And no matter how much you may hate Trump, you gotta admit, this is some pretty bad luck. He 2 for 2 on presidential terms and plagues. That's crazy. That was wild. Yeah, first one a fluke. The second one, how did a plague skip Biden's era? Like that's. Plague. Because that's the fear, is that, like, yes, they found one case, they treated it, you know, they've even traced it back to a particular source, because it's really a climate change issue, because basically the fleas that carry plague are thriving right now in the warmer climate, and so then they're hopping on more rats, and then the rats might come in contact with people, right? And so there's always the fear, the possibility that it isn't just that one case, and it isn't just contained to California. There's a real fear and a possibility that plague could have spread to the president's hand. Like it was possible. Because what we did, and how do I put this? What we've done in the U.S. as far as presidents is not exactly like we're picking young ones. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, whatever that thing is, whether it's law, is military, or is business, we seem to want you to have a wealth of experience in that field. Because there's going to be 3 branches of the government, and you may not be familiar with all of them. Even if you're a career politician, you may not know how to like wade perfectly through all of them. But, you know, if you have a lot of experience in one thing, that could win you the trust of the people. And we haven't had a young president in a long time. I mean, like, Kennedy was one, like, young ones, like a young guy being president. And we haven't really done that again. Like, you know, what we've done is we've let confidence and swag make up for youth. If you are the president and you present yourself in a way that makes us feel good, we will turn that back over to you in the sort of social capital that youth usually carries, right? Because we want you to have experience, but at a certain point, we have to be realistic, right? Like, Bill Clinton wasn't young, but he had a saxophone. We had a saxophone, so we defended him. We were like, that shows lung capacity. Have you heard him play, though? And then you had George W. Bush. Look, George Bush wasn't young, but he. I don't know. He just had like a childlike wonder to his. You could always tell when he was addressing the nation and he had also just learned a new word. Bush would be up there like, terror. Did I do it good? And then you had Barack Obama. And Barack Obama was younger than some of the people who have been president, you know, before and since, but he wasn't a baby. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't incredibly young, but he had that exact thing I'm talking about. He had an energy that was like a mobilization behind him, and he had like some measure of charisma that made up for any youth he might have been lacking. You know, I remember when Barack Obama sang that Al Green. That was incredibly uncomfortable. No, because when it happened, I was at a get together with a bunch of aunties going, "Oh, Barack." I'm like, no. No, I'm trying to have my dinner right now. What you doing? Can't eat meatloaf in these conditions. And then you went from Obama to Trump, and Trump had that energy. He had people behind him, and he came off youthful because he was like a schoolyard bully. Anytime somebody said something, any interview that went awry, he was ready, nickname, anything. He was just coming at you all the time. It's like he fed off of it. It was his favorite thing to fight with the media and get people riled up. That feels like youthful energy. That feels like it's going to be here forever, you know? And then we went from Trump to Biden, who, to be fair, told us he was going to be old. I've talked about this before. We were coming at Biden. We asked Biden, and Biden was like, "Are you sure? I got a Werther's in my mouth right now." I'll do it if you want me to do it, but my car does smell like potpourri, so. I'll do it. If y'all want me to do it, I'll do it. For real. If y'all like, no. Like if I'm the only one that can stop them, if I need to do it, I'll do it. But just know, when I shake world leaders' hands at the G7, G20, whatever, my hand will pop a lot. Whole handshake. It's gonna sound like Orville Redenbacher. But if y'all insist. And then we got Trump again after Biden, and this feels very different. You go back and watch a rally of Trump from 2016, 2017, and then you watch a press conference now. Very different. It's very, very different. I mean, it seems like he's dying. Like it's because look, I'm not. It's not lost on me that to be an American, to live in the U.S., You have to become, or at least have an understanding of what you need to do to be a semi-good capitalist, right? And there are people that ask the question, how can you fight for a more equitable world while you're living in a system that is corrupt? And I look at it the way I look at when I travel and I meet people who live in the country, but they don't speak the language, right? Like your native language is compassion and charity. You weren't made specifically to speak the language of margin calls and derivatives, dividends and everything. That's a language you can learn to get by because you live here, but it's not a language you were born with. When your parents are raising you, or when you have fond memories of being a kid, they all come from things much, much deeper than money. And then as you get older, you clearly need money to get by. That's no crime. Like, you have to function as a society. So you learn how to move with money as best as possible, but you can get distracted. It can take you to a place that makes it hard to remember your humanity. You know what I mean? Like some people look at anyone who has succeeded in business as someone who must have earned it, but that's not how all business works. You know what I mean? Like if I own a house and I set it on fire and I run out of the house, am I a genius or did I just have an insurance policy? Maybe both, but maybe I'm a crook. You know? Like only solvency that you have to contend with is your soul. You know what I mean? The solvency is defined by a company's ability to pay its long-term debts, right? If a company's not solvent, you have no trust in that company, and you probably shouldn't invest in that company. And as long as we're keeping it to financial terms, a soul works in a similar way. Depending on your belief system, depends on if your solvency, your long-term debt is to God or family, your community or a cause. But like, you can tell the difference between a religion and a cult by how they measure those solvencies. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that every major religion doesn't have its blemishes. It has people, so it's going to have plenty of mistakes in its history. But, a religion that only speaks to what is deeper about you and what is in you and what happens outside of all of this is probably worth looking into, worth reading about. And anything that brings it all the way down to the material good is probably a cult. You know what I mean? Just because a cult usually wants your money. They start off pretty good. A cult usually starts off with like a great party or something. And then like, I don't know, in about 3 weeks, they're like, hey, how much do you make? Dividends work the same way. Dividends get paid out. Companies will pay dividends to their investors, and those dividends go to shareholders. They go to investors, and if you have ever been the beneficiary of someone's kindness or goodwill, then you have dividends to pay throughout your life, And I don't know if that can be understood if you only understand business. Country isn't a business. It just isn't. You know what I mean? Like, but who knows? He's a businessman. Like maybe he's Trump is a businessman the way JFK Jr. was a pilot. You know what I mean? Oh, all right. No, you should groan. You're on the plane.
Nothing. knock